Yo, 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 it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Nets vlog. Nets fans is the best fan. Shout out to Tip Off for Brooklyn Nets podcast in the chat. Bro, we gotta talk, man, because I'm looking on X and I see the Brooklyn Nets didn't have Cam Thomas on the you know what I mean, the new graphics for who's on the team. They got MPJ in the middle. We just look soft. This guy, I don't like how this look, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how this look. Word up. And I just think at the end of the day, if we just decided to move on from Cam Thomas, nobody replaces his scoring. It don't show that we take care of our guys. You know, I just don't like it. Yo. I don't like it. I think it's nasty work. Shout out to Brian in the chat. Let me keep it real with you, bro. I don't like it. They got players that I don't even know. This Terrence Mann on the top left, MPJ, Claxton, Yegor, and okay, Noah Clowney. This was the starting five supposed to look like? Nah, man, this ain't it. We move on from Cam Thomas, and this is the team. So they just must be focused on skipping this entire season. I don't like it. I know this season ain't about winning a championship, but this is not the way to go. This is not the way to go. This is nasty work. If this is the starting five, this is nasty work. So what you got? Clax at the 5, Noah Clowney at the 4, MPJ at the 3, Terrence Mann at the 2, and Diego at the 1. Nasty. Brian in the chat. He said, I hope Cave those side that qualifier offered this side to a new team next summer, bro. That's what it's looking like, man. I got no good Cam Thomas news. You know, I feel like it's a 1v20 at this point. I feel outnumbered. But I'm going to still stay on this side, though. I don't care if I'm outnumbered. I don't care. King Ribby said we look soft because CT absence or disappearance gotta better your words, player. Bro, we look soft because if we look at the title, How are we building a winning culture? How are we building a winning culture about when it's time to pay a draft pick, you don't pay him like you're supposed to pay him, but you'll pay Joe Harris $75 million. And you know fans can articulate however they want, but at the end of the day, Sean Marks hasn't shown that he's made great signings in the past. He hasn't shown as a GM that he's made the best decisions with who he decided to keep on this team and who he let go. Shouldn't have kept Joe Harris, should have kept Jared Allen. One right there. Brian in the chat, he said MPJ can't be our first option at all. That's a fact, bro. MPJ is not no first option. He was a third option. You want to come to the Brooklyn Nets and be a first option? And then they not even include Cam Thomas on the picture. They got Terrence. This don't look right, yo. It don't look right. They just giving us anything. It's like they don't even care about what the fans are saying. Shit is ridiculous. No, knowing that none of these players could score, like you don't replace Cam Thomas points. This ain't me being a fan. This is me being watching the game. Bro, how many points this team going to score, bro? You take Cam Thomas or this team, we lucky we crack 100. We lucky we get to 100 points a game with this roster, bro. Take Cam Thomas off of this roster, but y'all want to lose though, right? Y'all want to lose, so we could possibly get a top 3 pick or one of those picks y'all want in next season. Pain and motivation said Cam Thomas is a bucket. That's a fact. We need this, man. We need this. We need more of this. We need Cam Thomas to come on the team and actually hoop. You know what I'm saying? We need this. Marlene Sutherland said Cam can't be on the graphic because he's technically not on contract with the team. Okay. Rod said one thing that will make up if Cam Thomas leaves is a top 2 pick next year, bro. We got a whole season to go through before we find out what's going on with that. King Ribby RM in the chat, he said, "But salute, like and subscribe and share." Shout out to King Ribby, you know what I'm saying? Nick Faye, he definitely be supporting the page. I appreciate you, bro. Pain and Motivation said, yes, we need Cam Thomas on the team. He is our best player. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yo, chat, W chat, man. W chat. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat for the schedule. We could all talk about together. I just wanted to I wanted to start off with my war cry. My war cry is I don't see how we building a winning culture when it's time to pay players, you don't pay them, and you tapping into the demographic to the point where you're just trying to sell tickets so you'll get a player just because they're from a certain region. I don't know if that's good basketball wisdom or is that just good business logic. It'd be good if two things were true where you're doing the business side and getting one of the more talented players from from where they play in basketball. The truth is that Sean Marks is an international player and also an international GM, and he sorts talent out from that. But given MPJ, I just don't. I don't like Cam. I don't like Cam Thomas' story ending with he never got the real opportunity that he deserved from the Brooklyn Nets. Knowing that, I don't think that's how his NBA it ends. It don't end that way. It doesn't. He's going to go to a different team and he's going to have a different scenario. Why do we have to see it twice? Why do we have to see Jared Allen and Caris LeVert get in a situation where they competitive enough to compete? And they see that because what we were doing with those said players on our team. Why do we have to wait for that to happen to us? I don't like it. Listen, I want to give a special thank you to the members of the page. Shout out to Maria Signal Moore, Jelio, Marcus, Nets DNA, and Joey BK. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the chat, W chat. Yo, this shit puzzles me too. This shit puzzles me too. Because they'll say, oh, maybe we could get Darren Peterson. For one, it's a maybe. For two, it's the fact that as far as what we was expecting from these draft picks and Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, and Ace Bailey, they didn't average the points that Cam Thomas put up in college. Are the players that's going into next year's draft, are they going to put up 23 points a game? I'm not talking about everything is not points neither. I'm not making that point. I know everything not points. You don't have to keep telling me that. But the truth is that they not putting up those same numbers. But y'all want to gaslight me and get me all excited about these players when I'm recapping every game. Y'all like to question Big Fan Breezy about whether I'm gonna be a fan if Cam Thomas is getting minutes. I'm gonna be a disgruntled fan. I'm gonna still recap. I'm gonna still do my thug thizzle. But at the end of the day, we're gonna be missing his points in elite scoring. We're gonna need a go-to guy. Who on this roster? Which one of these guys are go-to guys? We need a bucket. Which one of these guys we going to? Y'all confident? Y'all confident in them like that? Which one of these guys? Shut the ice in the chat. Cooper Flag Pain and Motivation said Cooper Flag is not an offensive juggernaut. He's a very good player, but Cam had a better year when it comes to stats. Pain and Motivation, none of them are buckets. With the NBA, the Brooklyn Nets value more. They value 3-and-D players more than a bucket. They value Noah Clowney more than Cam Thomas, MPJ more than Cam Thomas, Nick Claxton more than Cam Thomas, Terrence Mann, Diego Demin more than Cam Thomas. Everybody's supposed to be better than Cam Thomas. Y'all want me to be cool with it just because they the Brooklyn Nets? I will disagree with it if I don't like it. They are not. I'm not in their pocket. You know, I'm a content creator that speaks for myself. I pride myself on my authenticism and giving y'all my perspective through a lens where I'm saying what I feel and think. I'm not reading a script. I'm not saying what I'm saying for, you know, for this or that. I'm saying what I'm saying to get a authentic feel about how the fans feel about what I'm saying. Do they agree with what I'm saying? And also how the fans feel. I want to know how Joey BK feel, Bri feel, Pain and Motivation, Woo Pig, even though he a OKC Thunder fan, Beeman Boy, even though he a Knick fan, Ice, Jerome Flex, Leaf. I want to know Marlene Sutherland, or I want to know how all of these fans feel. But I don't look at this as confident. I don't look at this as building a winning culture. What is, and to the last part of the title before I throw the link in the chat, what is a Brooklyn Nets winning culture? I told y'all, it's prioritizing defense. The last time we were a good team, the best team in the Eastern Conference for us to go to the finals, we was a number one defense, both years, both seasons. That's important to say. Can't you put Cam Thomas in that situation? Quote unquote, he would be the weakest defender on that team, but he makes up for it in scoring. And if we so much of a good defensive, if we become a defensive team, just because you got one player that's not an elite defender doesn't make that team weak on defense. If we got running a 10-man rotation and you got 9 other players that play defense, why y'all tripping on Cam Thomas about one because he's not an elite defender when y'all know he make up for it on the offensive side of the ball? That's my war cry. I don't see us building a winning culture trading Cam Thomas. I see us with no direction. I see us going into the draft because it worked for other teams, and I get it. But I don't think it should be prioritized over Jordi Fernandez being the head coach, making defense a thing, making defense the priority. All I hear the whole summer is playmaking. Playmaking is more important than a ball hog. No, it's a narrative because y'all against Cam Thomas. Y'all against him being confident to bet on himself. Y'all just want him to not be vocal about how he feel and what he think. Trying to spin narratives to make him look like he don't want to be here or he doesn't fit here when it's a lie. He fits here. He fits the rookies. You take Terrence Mann off of that lineup and you put Cam Thomas there. They say they want somebody. And Steve Hetzel and the thing we was watching the other day said he want to see everybody touch the paint. Cam Thomas touched the paint. Noah Clowney touched the paint. No. Claxton, not really. What he doing from the paint for real? Besides a pick and roll. Diego Demin, they want him to shoot the 3 ball. Terrence Mann don't really be touching the paint like that. So they just say whatever to the fans and not have no validity or consistency to the words that they say. Joe Tsai said winning is his religion. Is he sinning on winning? Sean Marks, he could do no wrong, even though he's done mad shit. Shout to SMT Media Network. He said first time here. Salute to all. SMT, man. Listen, It's the off season. I'm heavy in the chat. Throw something in the chat. What y'all want to talk about? What's y'all opinions? I'm posting it. You making conversation out of it. That's a fact. I'm here daily. I do work. I'm here. If I ain't here daily, I'm here 5 days a week. I might take a day off. You know? Woolpig said, Brian, you know Zaire not moving the needle for Brooklyn. Okay. Talking that shit. Pain, they putting us through pain not re-signing Cam Thomas, man. They putting us through pain. Word. Woolpig says, hit that like button and subscribe. You heard? Yeah, I'm about to post that. We about to talk about that now. I just had my war cry. I just had to say, if the Brooklyn Nets are building the winning culture, they keep Cam Thomas. He fits on this roster. You put Cam Thomas on this roster, you got an elite scorer, somebody you could go to without Jordy Fernandez setting up X's and O's. Or they just going to be a team not entertaining to watch. I'm not going to be pessimistic. Y'all know I like to be optimistic. But this doesn't look like an entertaining team to watch. It looked like we focus on losing so that we could get a high draft pick in next draft class. Pain of Motivation said maybe we get lucky and draft AJ or Peterson or Cam Boozer next year. You never know. That's the point. That's what it seemed like they're trying to do. Pain of Motivation said Cam Thomas fits perfectly on this roster. Facts. Cam Thomas got a big guard at the 3. I mean, at the 1 with Yegor Demin. Put Cam Thomas at the 2. Put MPJ at the 3. Somebody that can space the floor. You can't double Cam Thomas with MPJ at the elbow. You can't. Now, Noah Clowney, put him at the corner or the elbow. He's going to knock that down eventually. And Cam Thomas is making sure that these players get space. Terrence Mann can't do what Cam Thomas do on the offensive side of the ball. Nick Clax, you already know he's more of a P and roll guy. Brian said, if we don't sign Cam Thomas, we literally have been relying on our 2026 picks to be ahead, and we shouldn't have to do that. That's a fact. You just put his stock into players because of where they were drafted at. Foolish. If you can't find talent outside of being a lottery pick, you not doing the right thing as a scout, as a GM, as a team, as a franchise. You know, you're only looking for high character guys. It's not the business for that. You know what I mean? You looking for guys to win the Pulitzer, huh? You looking for guys to be role models, huh? Yeah, I'm not saying go get thugs and gangsters, but y'all making it seem like what's important is you know what I'm saying, getting players that are nice people. Like, yeah, what are you trying to say? Cam Thomas not a nice person? I just don't get it, bro. There's no logic to what they're doing. There's no real logic to what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Word. So that's how I feel. Pain and Motivation say, finally, I met someone besides myself that values Cam Thomas, his offensive skills supersede his defense. That's a fact, bro. That's what I've been trying to tell him the entire time, man. His defense is not that bad, but his offense is elite. They want to pretend like his offense not elite, but they got to mention him with guards like Cade Cunningham. I'm talking to all these content creators. I seen that punk ass shooting guard list they had too. That shit was whack. We finna get to that right now. We're gonna get to the schedule, and we're gonna get to that shooting guard list. You know, hopefully I put it on my page. But did I do that? I think I did that. Stay tuned. I'm throwing the link in the chat for sure. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna get to the schedule and the 2 guard list. That's the 2 guard list right there. So let's just start with that. But that's crazy, bro. Gen23 in the chat. What up, Gen23? Gen23 said we might actually have a better roster this season with CT. We may win more games than expected. That's a fact. Yeah, I think they trying to get him off of the bench. You know, they got to play and develop these guys, so we got to see. Well, shout to Ice, shout to JP Liberty. He said Breeze seen the light how the Nets teams have been mismanaged. That's a fact, bro. And, you know, I'll be trying to be optimistic and give them a benefit of the doubt, but they've been fucking up the bag. You know, shout to Ice on the panel. You know, shout to everything Brooklyn Nets on the panel. Shout to Notorious on the panel. But we gonna, you know, y'all know I'm pretty biased when it comes down to Cam Thomas, I guess. But we gonna go to Ice first. We gonna look at this list with Ice. You know, we gonna move around the panel. Y'all gotta know that. But where does Cam Thomas fit in this list? Because he gotta fit in this list. We gonna go down the list. Ice, first shout out your podcast, and then we gonna get to it, bro.
Yo, y'all know where to find me. The Tip Off of Brooklyn Nets podcast on YouTube and TikTok. You heard? You know what I mean?
Facts. All right, talk to me. Cam Thomas and Anthony Edwards, who better?
And
okay, Donovan Mitchell or Cam Thomas?
We don't gotta do that, Breeze. He's going right. He's somewhere. He's going right. He's either right where Kobe White is at. I think he's better than Dyson Daniels. I'm not sure if he's better than
Austin Reeves shouldn't be that high, bro. And hold on. I just want to say this.
Uh-huh.
I want y'all to keep in context. If I don't know if all y'all were here, but Ice, I think you was. Ice pretty much consistent being on the panel a lot.
Yeah.
Remember when I pulled up the shooting guard and what it was specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, keep that in mind. And the reason why I said that is because I don't think Josh Hart fits that. I don't think Dyson Daniels fits that. Or even a CJ McCollum. And I'm going to read it for context, but go ahead, Ice. Tell me where you fit Cam Thomas at in this top 15. Bro.
I think CJ fits it, but I still think he's right where Kobe White is. Right in that 12 area. I would say because he's better than Dyson. I think he's better than Jalen Green to me. CJ, you know what I mean? He up there, but he scores better than CJ. CJ could probably do slightly more than Cam as far as passing, but I think he's right in the 12 area where Kobe White is at. You know what I mean? And like you said, Josh Hart, I don't know if Josh Hart is up there, but I just put Cam right there. Just the way the list is, I'll put him right before Kobe White.
Okay. That's very cool. Okay, you put him before Kobe White. So that number one, that would be like 11. He would be like the 11th best two guard in the league.
Maybe, yeah, basically something like that. 11, 12, somewhere around there.
Just to be specific, you think Austin Reeves is better than Cam Thomas?
Yeah, I'll put Austin ahead of Cam.
Shit, me and Ice gonna have to disagree with that.
Yeah, we can, but I'll put him just because of his playmaking. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put him ahead. Cam got the scoring, but I think he has the upper hand on the playmaking. So I'll put him ahead by a little bit.
Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. We're going to go to everything Brooklyn Nets, John. You got Cam Thomas on this top 15 list?
I agree with Ice. I think around after Desmond Bane, you can make an argument that Cam Thomas could be around that echelon. I think it's kind of wild that Josh Hart and Zach LaVine are so high, considering I don't think they're great at the scoring aspect, like on a huge level, if I'm being fair. But I also agree with Ice that around that 13-ish bracket, you could find Cam Thomas. I think everybody in the top 5 or 6 is very fair. Amon Thompson, if he has a really big year this year, I think that validates him at 7. But yeah, I definitely think for the most part this list is right. I also agree about Austin Reeves. I think his playmaking is kind of what puts him over Cam slightly. But at the same time, we've never seen Austin Reeves without LeBron James. So if Austin Reeves was on a team that didn't have superstars, how would he really perform, right? I'm just asking good questions about this. But yeah, I agree around the 13 bracket. I guess you would put Cam Thomas at this point. He definitely is better than Jalen Green as far as offense goes. That's for sure.
Okay. And just when you look it up and see what it says about a two guard, it says the shooting guard is usually the team's best shooter. The shooting guard can make shots from long distance and also is a good dribbler. I just don't think all of these guys in front of him are good shooters. Like I think Amen Thompson and Josh Hart specifically, they up there because of their defense, not necessarily because technically what they asked for from a shooting guard. Dyson Daniels too, he's good on the defensive side of the ball, but when you look at the roles of what a shooting guard is supposed to be, Cam Thomas is definitely better than him technically of what the role is asking for from a shooting guard.
Right. I agree. And but the Zach LaVine one is just mind-boggling because we have never seen Zach LaVine lead a team to like a deep playoff run whatsoever. I know his offensive stats have been one of his best attributes, but what does he really do for you defensively? Not a lot. He's been injury prone. So I just think it's because of what he's done offensively that put him in that category. But I don't see nothing significant that makes him one of the top best guards in the league because he's never led a team in all fairness, you know? That to me is a little questionable.
Yeah, all right. So we're gonna just keep going around the panel. I won't be long-winded. Shout out to everything Brooklyn is John Heavy on X. Shout out to Notorious on the panel, as you can see scrolling across the screen. He's a member of the page, a moderator on the page, a big contributor to the page. Joey, talk to us, man. You think Cam Thomas deserved to be on this list?
Yeah, I agree with everybody else on the panel. I see him between that 12 and 15 range.
Right.
Kobe White is debatable. I think Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels is a beast, though. But I still think Cam is better than Dyson Daniels. I think he's better than Jalen Green for sure. And man, get CJ McCollum old ass off of here. But yeah, CJ is still, he still do his thing. But bro, come on, man. Like really, Cam deserved to be on here, man. There's no reason why he shouldn't be anywhere between 12 and 15. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Word. Shout out to Notorious, man. We gonna go to Brooklyn LF. Brooklyn LF, talk to us, man. What you think about this shooting guard list? Do you think Cam Thomas deserves to be in the top 15?
Yeah, I'll put him around mostly the 12 through 15. I think him being there deserves some. I personally think he's better than CJ McCollum. I think he's better than Jalen Green. Dyson Daniels is just a beast. There's talking about a guy who's just him defensively, has a bit of a scoring game to him. Kobe White could be debatable. I wouldn't say outright Kobe White is better than Cam Thomas. I think that's a debate. I would probably put him where Kobe White is at. You know what I'm saying? I'll swap out Kobe for Cam. But other than that, yeah, he should be on this list though. I definitely think Cam Thomas should be around the 12 mark. Austin Reeves could be an argument, but I agree with Ice. He brings a lot more playmaking on the other side. May not be the best defensively, but he is going to at least give you other things. But other than that, 1 through I feel like 7 is accurate. Josh Hart at 8. I feel like that's a drag. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't know. I get it. He's a defensive guy. He's gonna get you the rebounds.
Man, that's all.
Occasionally get you a shot, but I'm not rocking with it. I think you could replace Josh Hart at 8.
Definitely.
Yo, I'm not. Listen, I want to stop you at Josh Hart, and I want to read this. I'm not gonna put it on the screen just for the sake of the list, but let me read this. Give me 2 minutes to read this because this is what it says a shooting guard is on Wikipedia. What is this? Is this Wikipedia? Yeah, this is Wikipedia. A shooting guard, also known as the 2 or the off guard, is along with the small forward, often referred to as a wing because of its use in common positioning tactics. As the name suggests, most shooting guards are prolific from 3-point range and long mid-range. Emphasis on that. before they can get the ball to make the shot, they must work to stay free while others pass the ball around. That's playing off the ball. That's what Cam Thomas do. He do it better than any of the guards they got in that goddamn picture. Their ability to correctly space the floor and find open spaces for themselves is a key aspect of this position. Just like all the positions in basketball, the ability to communicate efficiently with teammates is of great importance. If teammates do not know when or where a player will be open, they cannot deliver the ball when an opportunity arises. Most of these skills depend on whether the shooting guard is a good shooter, a finisher around the rim, a defender, or a different combination of these. Now, these different combinations, I'm going to say, yes, he's a good shooter. He finishes around the rim. He's not necessarily a defender. That's true. But he is a combination of these. Now, it's important that I keep reading this because we're looking at this list, and I want y'all to know what a shooting guard is. I know a lot of people talk positionless basketball and all of this stuff like that. But when you look at what a shooting guard is, y'all talking about like one of the best shooting guards that ever came to the Brooklyn Nets, specifically the Brooklyn Nets. We about to just not have them on a team based on what the graphics said, right? So then it says this, look, throughout the evolution of the game, there have been different types of shooting guards, mainly categorized as offensive threats and defensive guards. Shooting guards usually know their play style and get better at qualities they are good at, and then teams determine their role on the court. If the shooting guard focuses more on taking perimeter jump shots, especially three-pointers, by the use of the basketball screen, such as down screens, and without much dribbling involved, then the shooting guard is typically known as a catch and shoot type of player. Is it fair to say that Cam Thomas became a catch and shoot type of player? Last year on a statistic graphic I seen, he was the number 10th player at catch and shoots, to be specific. Now they mentioned Devin Booker. They say Devin Booker fits this type of play style. If the shooting guard emphasizes driving into the lane and scoring at or around the basket, then the shooting guard is generally referred to as a slasher type of player. Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan were well known for their ability to slash into the lane and score around the rim. However, they also took their fair share of mid-range jump shots and three-pointers. These are known as offensive threat. This is 2 times in explanations. They mentioned the mid-range shot. They shy away from the mid-range shot with the Brooklyn Nets. Yet they got Steven Hatsu talking to the guys about touching the paint. They can't have it both ways. The stuff that y'all looking for, the way y'all want to play basketball, Cam Thomas plays that way. He fits what the Brooklyn Nets are doing, and they're ignoring him. And as a fan, it should hurt. Now, and then the last part it says, and if the shooting guard's main priority is to limit or prevent the opposing team's star player, which is usually another shooting guard or other perimeter player, see, it said, which is usually another shooting guard or other perimeter player. So basically, usually the person that's the best scorer on the team, the shooting guard, is not necessarily going to guard the best player on the other team. And without reading from the what it says, it's because they're not trying to get in foul trouble. You know, you sit this best scorer gets sat down and can't play 36 plus minutes because they've been in foul trouble all game. At worst, gets fouled out, you know, or just under the still bad, not effective to take the lead or tie the game, or take the lead and hold the lead because they continue to get in foul trouble from trying to guard the next player. Cam Thomas is not wrong for not being a two-way defender. You're supposed to protect the guy that can score the best on your team, and the Brooklyn Nets did the worst job at it. I'm going to still be a Brooklyn Nets fan if they trade Cam Thomas, but I'm definitely going to be critical about all of the shit that they need to be doing. Yegor, Ben Saraf, Drake Powell, they need to be the best perimeter defenders, because if you trade in away your best scorer, then that means your priority gotta be defense. It has to be. You have to change everything you're doing if you trade Cam Thomas. And that's all it says. So I just want to try to keep that in mind while y'all look at this. Because I got nothing bad to say about Josh Hart, but based on what it's explaining, yeah, he's a culmination of it. But to say he's at 8, I don't agree with that.
Damn, Breeze, you know what? I didn't even peep. I didn't
I
even
don't.
peep Josh Hart right there. Yeah, that's nasty. My bad. Keep
Yeah, I
going.
don't.
Yo, Joey.
Wow.
I don't think he should be 8. I don't think Austin Reeves should be 9. I don't.
But I think
You
I
know what
think
I'm
the
saying?
two guard position has. I mean, even when you look at guys like Kobe and Jordan and stuff like Wade, even like they were also great defenders. You know what I'm saying? They also were guys that you
Yeah.
can put on the best player and go out and play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the shooting guard over the years has just evolved into, sometimes the shooting guard is the best player on the team. But at
Right.
the same time, most of the two guards nowadays, your whole offense sometimes is circled around, but most of the times that's not the case on other teams. So I mean, you talking about a guy like Dyson Daniels, right? That can play two guard, who's 6'7". He ain't really like that offensively, but defensively, he's a juggernaut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
But
don't
look,
think
look.
it's
But
been that
I
way.
don't even really
Hello.
look at him as a two guard, and I don't even look at Josh Hart as a two guard. I never knew Josh Hart was a two guard. When did he
Yeah,
Josh
become
he's
Hart
one?
was a
always
two guard.
he
Josh
has
Hart
been a
been a
two
two guard.
guard.
They had
He
him
been a
all
two
over. What I'm
guard.
saying is
As as as
they
small
had
as
him
small
all
as
over.
Josh Hart is, bro.
His
Like, come
his
on,
skill set, his skill set was more focused like a small forward or a power forward, but his skill
Exactly. They had him as a Swiss
Niggas
Army
just
knife
pay
all
attention
over.
to the rebounding. That's why.
They
Niggas
had
just
him
pay
as a
right.
attention.
Swiss.
That's his main attribute is
Right.
a rebound.
Exactly.
We
And
supposed to pay
defense.
attention to it.
Josh
No,
Yeah,
Hart.
but he
people.
was a two
let,
guard.
Let me just say this real quick, and I'm gonna
Nah,
land.
say,
he's a two guard, but
Josh
I don't
Hart.
think he's a top two guard. Not
Josh
ever.
Hart is more
isn't it?
known. Listen,
Go
Josh
ahead,
Hart
though.
is
Let
more
Joe.
known for his defense and being small and strong and his rebounding. Like they used him as a Swiss Army knife. The Knicks did. I could have sworn when DiVincenzo was there, him and Brunson was in the backcourt.
That's a
They
fact.
were.
Yeah,
So
but you can
I
be
want to,
all that
I
and
want to
still be
hold up,
Oh my
a two
god.
guard.
Oh
I
my
want to
god.
say this, bro. Like, is it fair to
He
say
already started.
that majority of the two guards in the league, bro, like, are probably used for defensive purposes? This kind of been the case since Tony Allen on
Cook up leaf.
the
Cook up
Grizzlies,
leaf.
bro.
Cook
Like,
up
I
leaf.
mean, if we
Cook up.
really want to be fair, bro, like the two guard position after Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade and Brandon Roy, bro, like it's pretty much been like, yo, you kind of gotta play defense more or less than anything, bro. Like, I mean, Caruso was used for defense. Tony Allen, who I just said was used for defense. He was a starting
I
two
don't
guard.
agree
Yeah,
with
but
that.
no, hold on,
Dyson,
I
yeah,
think
Dyson
his
Daniels.
hold
No,
on,
no, no.
defense
I'm
most
just
out.
giving you. I'm just
time
giving.
out.
James,
Hold
I'm
on,
just
hold
giving.
on, time out. Let me, because I didn't finish reading this, and because Tony Allen is right there in the context. So let me just put context to what the point where I was getting. If the shooting guard's main priority is to limit or prevent the opposing team's star player, which is usually another shooting guard or other perimeter player, then the shooting guard could be known as a defensive specialist. Tony Allen would be
True.
considered a defensive specialist. Now, the specific part of saying this is that, yeah, we understand that Tony Allen is not going to put up the same amount of points on offense that the opposing player, they best shooter or scorer, is going to do. But he's a defensive specialist. So if Tony Allen score 8 points, guess what? He going to score 8 points. That's necessary. That's not necessarily how it goes, but as a two guard, they're looking for him to be a defensive specialist. And again, far as culmination of the three, like they mentioned in the other part of this, is he's the defensive first before scoring, which is cool, but that's not the.
Listen,
hold on, wait.
Crashing the
Hold on,
fuck
come on.
I
Let me
don't
get
know.
this.
I
Let me
don't
just get
think.
One
this
mic,
last
guys.
thing.
One mic. Come on, one mic.
Let me say this last thing. I want to
crashing the
segue.
whip.
I want to finish reading this and then segue saying this. I don't know if Terrence Mann could beat Tony Allen one, and then I'm gonna just finish reading this. It said Tony Allen could be considered defensive specialist, shooting guards with the ability to shoot from the perimeter while limiting the scoring opportunities of other teams. Best perimeter players can be referred to as the 3 and D type of players. Danny Green is an example of a 3 and D type of shooting guard. These are known as defensive guards. In the NBA, a shooting guard is generally between 6 feet and 2 inches to 6'7". A player who is both a point and a shooting guard is called a combo guard. Do it let easy and leave.
Hold on, easy, bro. Like, where you go?
Nah,
Because he
take
was
it away,
asking me to
Leaf.
start.
Take that shit away, bro.
But what if I told all of y'all, bro, that the players that you seeing that are at the two guard that are known for defensive purposes always been there for many years. If you could go back to the '80s, and a lot of us don't know nothing about the '80s unless we do
Talk
go
about Sidney Moncrief, Leaf.
like
Talk
we
about
can
Sidney Moncrief.
talk about Sidney Moncrief, can we talk about Alvin Robinson, can we talk about Michael Cooper, can we talk about Dennis Johnson, can we talk about Joe Dumars, who was all used for the defensive purposes, bro? Like, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on.
That,
So realistically, bro, like everything that we seeing today from these two guards that are known for defense than they are for scoring, it kind of been there for many years. Realistically, it's just been some exceptions to the rule with, I don't know, Jordan, Kobe, T Mac, Vince, some scorers here and there.
Because you
They've
don't
been
look at a
some
template
exceptions.
to build your team, Leaf. You don't look at a template. You look at your team and build it from there. You don't follow a template, bro.
Exactly.
If
Thank you.
Wikipedia tell you
And
what to do, you
that's
gonna
where I was
follow it.
going. And that's where I was going. And it's probably the reason why Drake Powell got drafted in the first place.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Let them stick
You
with it.
breaking
And
up,
listen,
bro.
what I'm saying is this, bro. If
So that wasn't
if you take Cam Thomas off the team, that shows that you're not prioritizing the offensive side of the ball. You prioritizing the defensive side of the ball. Okay, cool.
Drake Powell can score.
No, I'm not saying the score, but trust me, as far as what I'm hearing, he's been drafted for his defense before he was drafted for his offense. Is that fair to say?
You don't know
No,
that.
that's fair. No, that was a big reason why.
They might look at him as an
I'm
offensive
asking a
guy
question.
too.
just
Nah,
because
I'm
we
asking
have
a
some
question.
exceptions.
I'm saying, is it fair to say? I'm not saying I know.
No, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying the dude can score. Like he's yes, he can play defense. His defense is strong. He shot 38% from the three at UNC. He can score. It's just they didn't use him.
That sound like a
But he's
3D
a
player.
scoring
I
guy.
wanted to say this real quick.
That sound like a 3D player to me, Ella.
Just because there's been
I
some
mean, he could
exceptions,
be, yeah.
just because there's been some exceptions with the two guard being dominantly defensive, does not mean that the two guards role is mostly offensive minded. With that being said, the most defensive dominant position has always been the wing. I don't know where y'all niggas getting this two guard shit from. Just because it's exceptions to the rules and some teams had it, does not mean that the wing has been the most dominant defensive position in basketball for the last couple of years. That is a fact.
Wait.
I mean, MJ was winning depoys, so I mean,
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah, but you talk about the '90s. You're talking about
Kobe was on all defensive teams
Exactly.
too.
We talk about the
yeah,
90s
bro.
and
You
Kobe
talk about
Bryant.
exceptional talent, bro. Who won it last? A center won it.
Who was Kobe? Who was Kobe's best defender at the wing that he played with of his career? Who was his best wing? His wing go guard the best player on the court.
You know what,
bro? Hold on.
all right, so let's look at history. Hold on, let's look at history. How many guards actually win the defensive player of the year?
Right, the front court won more depoys than the back court.
Like, come on.
I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying at some points, at certain matters, sometimes the two guard is the best defender. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
That's acceptable. But to say that the two guard always been like the stout defensive position is bullshit.
Oh no. I'm not agreeing with. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Nobody said that.
Leaf said that.
I agree. The two guard has not been the spot you look at for defense, and I agree. It's usually the wing. It's usually the wing of the center.
I know what he said. Easy. He said it's always been there. We just haven't been paying attention to it, and he went all the way back to Joe Dumars. I know what the nigga said.
He said there've been a few.
And I've been paying attention to it, but that's not the point. The point. Hold on. I just want for context, easy, because I want to go to East. For context, I'm saying we don't need Cam Thomas to be the anchor on defense for him to be essential to the team. I'm saying just and the Nets was successful with perimeter defense, but why put all the onus on him when you got Yegor and Ben Rapp and they both big guards? And to my knowledge, Drake Powell, not against LM, but from what I heard, really is that because of his defense is why he's part of the roster. You know, in my opinion, it made me think of a Jordy Fernandez kind of a player off rip. You know what I'm saying? So I think they totally gonna. My whole point of saying this, Easy, is that by trading Cam Thomas, you're saying we are a defensive team first and an offensive team second. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to figure out the identity of the Brooklyn Nets and them going forward.
I mean, realistically, depends on who we get. Cam Thomas.
You're breaking up,
that
Lee.
trade.
You're breaking
Yo, you can come back out and come back in. You've been breaking up the whole time, bro.
We just going to Easy. Go ahead, Easy.
Hold on.
Leaf, you on Megatron, but I mean, I don't even remember what the fuck I was about to say now. Y'all got it, man. Go ahead.
Basically, what I'm saying,
you was about to talk about the 2 guard.
What I'm saying is, Bob, because
All right,
this
so
whole game.
I don't forgot that shit.
No, listen. What I'm saying is about the 2 guard. They're known to score the ball. Like that's why they're there. They're there to score the ball. And
Exactly.
That's notorious what they do. And I think that because of all of this conversation of playmaking and this and that, no, that's not what a shooting guard do. When you look at what a shooting guard does, and I'm not jacking all of this positionless basketball. And on top of that, as far as perimeter defense, why always the onus is on him when you got big guards. They complain that Cam Thomas is small. Okay, now you got big guards. You got Yego and you got Ben Surratt. So now you put them in a situation where they good perimeter defenders. That's the first thing I think they need to prioritize.
Oh my God.
But
To be fair, the way
niggas tried to break it down to the history.
The way you putting it sounds crazy, though.
Hold up.
Let
me just say this real quick.
Why? These are not offensive players.
Hold on, let me say
I'm gonna let
Joey
go. I'm gonna let Joey go.
Niggas tried to break it down with the history, but history shows us that ain't too many 2 guards won defensive player of the year. When was the last time a 2 guard won defensive player of the year? It's only been 2 point guards to win it. That's Marcus Smart and what's the name? When was the last shooting guard to win it?
I don't think the defensive player of the year is the point. But I think what me and Easy is trying to say is at the 2 guard position. Well, yes. But hold on, but I think you agree. Hold on. I think the point is, from what I'm saying, yes, the 2 guard is mainly an offensive role. No disputing that. But the way you put it, it's like, yo, you're the 2 guard. You're only meant to score. We don't care about defense or playmaking at all. That's what I'm just saying. That's what it sounds like it's coming from. Because I would want my 2 guard. Yes, while he may be gifted offensively, I would at least want him to be good at defense and playmaking as well.
Of course.
I'm not just going
my positions to be good defensively if it was up to me. All I'm saying is that the main job of the 2 guard is to score the ball. Now, I'm not saying that there have not been 2 guards throughout the years of the NBA that have not been defensively stout. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that throughout the years there had not been some guards who were more defensively prone than offensively. But the general consensus is when we look at the position, the 2 guard is there to score the ball. It is in their name, shooting guard.
Right. Exactly. That's it.
Have we but I think it's also, have we reached the point where, because most of the players, because 2 guards are meant to score, but I think we've reached the area where now we enter in this day and age where, like Joey said, most of the wings in the league was the defenders. But now you got dudes like Paul George and KD and Paolo who play like guards. Exactly. They play like 2s. So and you got Wemby, who's a whole center who plays like a 2. Exactly. So now it kind of get mixed up because now you're getting your scoring from Embiid, you're getting your scoring from Jokic, you're getting your scoring from Wemby, you're getting your scoring from Paolo, you're getting your scoring from KD, you're getting your scoring from Paul George, you're getting your scoring from whoever. But these are not 2 guards. But that's why we bring up positionless basketball so much, because a lot of these players are crossbreeds.
Well, you hybrid. Know what I mean? Joey, the correct term is hybrid players.
Okay, hybrid, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? They may fit, as far as their stature, as far as their archetype, they may fit a small forward role, but they got the skills of a 2 guard or a point guard. It happens. But when you look at it, right, throughout the years, I can name off Kawhi Leonard, KD, Jaylen Brown. What other wing?
Tatum.
Tatum. Like I could go on and on about how many dominant defensive wings there are in basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, and I think that when you look at the description, that's more what they're supposed to do too.
Giannis.
Look. It says the small forward. The small forward plays against small and large players. They roam all over the court. Small forwards can score from long shots and close ones. So it basically says
Bro, we
you're going
reading
against
really
small.
stupid, bro.
They wasn't
I'm
specific
bad,
to say the word defense, but if you're talking about small, they asking you to guard to the guards, and they asking you to guard the power forwards. You know what I'm saying, and the small forwards, and maybe the centers. So I'm just saying that to say, you know, this is the description of it. So it just sounds like the small forward and the power forward and the center, the way the game was played from the beginning, it was more, that's where the defensive anchoring was from those areas. Like, yeah, you want your backcourt to be good defenders, and you want all of them to be good defenders, but it was always about the big man in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Getting the blocks, deterring the shots, that kind of thing.
Breezy, you said they was talking about, because if you trade Cam Thomas, they must be focused on the defensive end of things. But I don't know if I remember correctly. I think Lee said it when the draft ended. What if these niggas is not looking at just one person to score the ball? What if these niggas is looking at everybody to get involved in the offense and have it be like an Indiana Pacers type shit where any one of these dudes at any night can just score or drop 30 or whatever the case may be, and they don't just want it to be one person. Like they just want a collective of guys to
okay. So you
score
saying so you come on, bro? That's not a tall ass, realistically.
No.
Like everybody has.
I don't think so.
Hold on. Listen.
No.
So basically, that's so like the Bulls. They got Luke. They got Luke Longley at the center. They got Jordan at the 2 guard. So one of these games, we need Luke Longley to score 30.
Nah, but that's
Nah. That's not the comparison I was trying to say. I was just saying that because Jordan is already solidified as the best player on that team. Of course, they got to go through him. I'm just saying, with what we seen with Indiana, you had a game where Halliburton went off. Then you had a game with Siakam went off. Then you had a game when Nembhard went off. Then you had a game when Nesmith went off. Then you had a game when Mouse Turner went off. Like, it came from different people in the starting lineup. It wasn't just Halliburton going for 30 every single game. Like, most of the times he finished with 18, 15, and 15.
But why?
Siakam had 31.
But why Cam Thomas can't be part of that? Why y'all gotta minus him?
I think he should.
Breeze.
I think he
Like,
should.
why he can't be one of those players? Like he don't have the pressure to score 30 every night. But if y'all need him to, he could. Because y'all got other players. And then y'all talk about making him a third option off to the bench. Name 3 players that's supposed to on the Brooklyn Nets supposed to get the ball more than Cam Thomas.
Yeah, you're talking about the current roster right now. That could be subject to change. We have to remember there's over 20 guys on this roster right now. There's a good chance
I'm talking
half
about the
or 40
roster right
guys
now.
won't be here in
I'm
3 to
not
4
putting no
years.
hypotheticals to it, John. I'm talking about what they put on the graphics. They want the fans to see. This is what's supposed to sell tickets. Any of those players.
That's the business side of this. So when they show the graphic, this is why you should get your business done as soon as possible. Is you let this linger and fester. You get graphics like that, having people like you say, "Oh my God, what's going on here? Where's Cam Thomas?" Like, this is the front office's job to now handle. Cam Thomas obviously feels how he feels, doesn't want to change the way about what he wants, but as an organization, you got to figure out middle ground. If there's no middle ground, you got to move away from it. Like what Elam, though, was onto something. Maybe the Nets strategy is to try to be like a Pacers OKC team where multiple guys can be those main options. Because right now, we don't have a franchise guy. So maybe the best option this season is not to run the offense through Michael Porter Jr. Whoever's gaslighting him, chill out. But what the goal probably should be this season is everybody gets involved. I mean, Steve Hetzel on the documentary episode said we want paint, we want touches in the paint. Everybody be active, cause turnovers, play gritty defense. Like, you want to talk about winning culture? Everybody needs to be mentally committed to what this goal is.
I want to say this, Breezy. I want to say this real quick. It sounds good though. It
Yeah,
sounds good.
exactly.
It sounds good.
What players going to touch the paint?
Hold
Cam
on.
Thomas can touch the paint. Who else?
Right.
Freeze, you got to see what this team does this year. At the end of the day, this is all experimentation and a long, tough-ass season. I mean, I saw a schedule. I think the schedule, for the most part, is good for the Nets, but every game, every day for this team this year is going to be a journey and a struggle somewhat, and you got to see how they handle adversity. The biggest test for these prospects and for this whole team is how do you handle adversity? Maybe this organization wants to see which players can break through that, which players can step up to the plate, which players can be the leaders on the court, off the court. Like, it's I think it's all up for grabs right now is what I'm trying to say. But to what Elam said, right now we don't have that franchise guy, so everybody has to step up to the plate and try to fit a certain role or fight for a certain role. It doesn't just have to be one guy right now.
Let me just say this real quick. It sounds good. Like, oh yeah, we're just going to share the basketball and everybody's going to try to score till all of damn rookies out there fucking clinking shots off the side of the backboard.
Yeah, but Joey, what do you expect,
Well,
Joey?
it lands us a
That's
top
real
five pick. I ain't
expectations,
complaining.
though, Joey. What do you expect, though, Joey?
I agree that we got to go out there and we got to experiment. But my thing is, you guys act like Cam Thomas can't be a part of the experiment, and I think that's bullshit.
Wait, we didn't say that.
Like Cam can't be part of
arguments for
it.
Cam
They can
Thomas
still go out
somewhat.
there and share the ball. They can still go out there and compete as a team, and Cam Thomas can still be a part of that. So
Yeah, but he needs to make his options realistic. Nobody's getting him $30 to $40 million. I understand what he wants, but he needs to also wake up and smell the coffee. You take the $14 million, let this year be a prove year. You could stay healthy for 60, 70 games, put yourself in all-star conversation, and prove on last to your game. Maybe you'll get a financial bump. That's what Cam Thomas has to step up to the plate for. Nobody's giving him the money he wants. Not even EuroLeague is going to give him that type of money right now.
That's cool. I'm not talking about the money aspect right now. What I'm saying is, I'm tired of people, like Breezy said, acting like Cam Thomas doesn't fit a need on this team. Acting like Cam Thomas can't play with these kids is bullshit.
Listen, Joey,
I think he absolutely fits a need on this team. And like I said, it sounds good when you say, oh yeah, the kids is going to go out there, they're going to create a bunch of turnovers and they're going to share the ball and everybody's going to score collectively. Let me tell you something. If Cam Thomas ain't on this team, it's going to be real ugly this season.
And we all know that, Joey.
It's going to be ugly with or without Cam Thomas. Wait, it's going to be ugly with or without Cam Thomas.
Well, it's going to be uglier without Cam Thomas.
But he fits. See, there's two things to look at when you say that, right? He does fit a need on his team, and he also might not fit the need of going forward with the team. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about what he's saying, and John and Elam saying about moving the ball, that is what they want to do. That's why they drafted these guys. These guys might not do that right now. They may not be that way right now, right? So Cam fits the need right now. But once they get comfortable and once the ball is popping and Cam wants to do 6, 7, 8, 9 dribbles to get a bucket, man, he might be gone because he's not changing his play style.
But then you're saying that Cam can't play with them. That's
wait. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if he does not right now, like you're saying, he does fit a need because we don't have a score. But at the same time, the way they are moving forward is almost like, I'm not saying they're getting away from Cam, but they trying to adjust the team so that we don't play that way. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's more like a one dribble. You don't have your shot, swing the ball. 2 dribbles. If you can't make a pull up, swing that ball. It's not a 1, 2, 3, 4 ISO hezzy step. We not going like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the type of style we going forward for. That's why they drafted those guys.
Even if that's the case, if you can't have Steve has to also mention they trying to build a team like the Thunder roster and ignore the fact that Jalen Williams and Shea are shot creators, bro. They shot creators, bro. So don't pretend like these championship rosters are not having shot creators on their roster, bro.
No. That's not what it is.
Hold on. But what I'm saying is they want to give Shea all of these different roles because he can do other things. But the truth is he is the leader of that team because he is a shot creator. There's many games where they didn't draw nothing up. They gave it to Shea and told him, you know what I'm saying? We need a
So he's a franchise guy.
Real quick. Share the ball with these kids. That's what y'all saying. He can't share.
No. I'm saying right when you talk about OKC, that's how they built their team. That's who they had, and they was going forward with said player. You know what I'm saying? They built their team. They got Shea. They like, okay, this is how we're gonna run it. He's capable of doing this, so we're gonna let him do this. You know what I'm saying? Our team is not saying that with Cam. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They not saying we got Cam and let him do what he do when he get. You know what I'm saying? They not moving
And
like that.
hold on,
Right.
Ice, and Jalen Williams' game improved. Like we looking at
Drastically.
Williams as a
Mhm.
shock creator now, but when he got drafted, he was nowhere near what he is right now. I'll tell
Right.
you that he could not create like that at all. You could tell he put in the work in his game. He was already a good defender and a good athlete, but he had to work on his mid range. He had to work on his three. He had to get better at these things because they already knew he was getting starting minutes when he got drafted that year that they went 40 and 42. So they put
Right.
him in the lineup and he had to learn the game. They threw him in the fire immediately. He
Right.
learned that. I'm sure getting off-season work with Shea helped, and he got better at his game. And they want to chip off that. But these rookies got to get put through the fire. They got
Right.
to learn the game. They got to do certain things to get better. And hopefully that results into one of these guys being a good crucial piece towards a championship roster one day.
Right, and just to add to what Ice just said, we are moving away from ISO play. I know Breezer put up the stat about Cam a few weeks ago. He was one of the best ISO scorers in the NBA, but that's just it. Jordy, Sean, and them just want to get away from that. They just want to be team style, fast pace, multiple defenders, multiple guard in different positions, versatility, non-positionless basketball, stuff like that. And for Cam, when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, when he's not dribbling, because they don't want him to do that, when he's not playmaking, what else can he do? Can he defend? Can he rebound? Can he get steals? Can he do all those other things? Right now, the argument is he can't do those things at a huge level because he hasn't been healthy enough or consistent enough to do it. And that really is what's holding him back from having a main role on this team. If he can prove it for a full year, Breeze, the conversation definitely changes. But for right now, what Ice and LM and some of the other guys are saying, it's very valid what's against Cam right now. And he has to meet those questions if he ever wants to get something close to 25 mil as a salary. He has to meet those jump points.
We
But
understand.
he can't meet those jump points right now.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Before we get to the business side of it again, when I talk about Cam Thomas on the ISO scoring, I'm talking about us staying in the game within 10 points. I like to say, we got a chance if we keep it between 5 and 10 points. Because a lot of times as a Nets fan, you've seen us not have the lead. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is.
Listen.
So I'm saying that to say he will always keep us in the range. When we didn't have him in the starting lineup, we couldn't crack 30 points. When we
but what if he's not having a good offensive night? That's when it becomes questionable. When he doesn't have an offensive game.
Hold on. What I'm saying is I'm trying to make a point. He's not putting up meaningless points. He's actually keeping us in the game, keeping it within 10 points when we on the bad side of that, and when we don't have the lead, better say. And also he'll keep us within like scoring as many points as them. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is based on what I read, again, like I'm a student of the game, don't try to make him the anchor of the defense. You could have him with these guards. Yeah, y'all complain about us not having a big backcourt with Schroeder and Cam Thomas. Now we got Diego DeMen, he like 6'6". Got Ben Sarabi, he like 6'5". You feel what I'm saying? Put them in situations where, we don't wait till they get to the 3-point line. We attack at the half court. You know what I'm saying? Get creative on the defensive side of the ball. Try to be defensive playmakers. And let me just land the play saying this, Joey, because I'm gonna keep saying this. Do it. I'll buy into us being defensive first because they got to the finals with the number one defense in the league. So I'll buy into being a defensive team first. But don't pretend like we're supposed to have big guards on this team and they're not going to be responsible for defense. No.
He just has to.
Also, I think Nolan is. I think we underrated Nolan as a scorer
we know what Cam Thomas is up against. We get it, but that doesn't mean that we have to agree with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I personally think he can still play with these kids. A lot of y'all sitting up here acting like Cam is gonna play with these kids and he's gonna be a ball hog and he's not gonna pass the ball. Then you get on here and say, "Well, yeah, Cam did get better at this. He did get better at that," and then you act like he's not going to be able to improve on the next pod. I mean, which one is it?
Nah,
like
I'm just.
we understand. That's the vision that Jordy and Sean wants. We get it. They want guys sharing the ball. They want defense. But still, some fans, such as myself and Breezy, still feel that Cam can still play alongside these guys. He can still improve in some of those areas that y'all been saying he's been improving in, instead of fucking using those same excuses to try to nitpick with the kid.
No,
That's
no,
Has
not, no,
Cam
that's
been
not
the same?
nitpicking
Has
though.
Cam
We're
been the
pointing
same
out that
player?
we.
Hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all seen a difference in Cam in these past 5 years? I'm talking about just as a player. Have
Yes.
y'all seen a difference? An
Yes.
actual difference?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
last 25 games of the season, that's when he's really started
I've
changing
seen
up his
I've
play.
seen
Listen.
I've seen a difference in his playmaking and his passing, and I've seen a difference in his effort on defense. Now, is
I
it
was,
the best?
Listen.
No, it's
Listen.
not. No
no,
Right.
I
I
player
see.
is going to be perfect. Every player is going to
Listen.
have their pros and cons, but I've seen
Right.
him improve in
Yes.
these areas.
Yes. To
I
answer
would
the
say,
other question. Yes. Go ahead. Ice.
yeah, I would say he changed as soon as we got Jordy. As soon as he got Jordy, and like he said, once he started understanding what the coach was asking for, not with Jock Vaughn. Jock Vaughn, he said that with Jock Vaughn too, but it was different. With Jordy, like you already know how Jordy is. You know what I'm saying? Give you chances to do things, and then if you don't do it right, you know what I mean? You sit down. No matter who you are, you know what I'm saying? Status, whatever the case may be. If you ain't like Kevin Durant, you sitting. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, like Joey said, like that his effort on defense got better. He got a couple steals when we got Jordy. He played a little bit of the passing lane. We see all
Right.
these things improve. You know what I'm saying? So he having a coach like Jordy does help him elevate his game. And I'm not saying he can't play, because I think we still need Cam on the team. But what I'm saying, like going forward, like Joey's saying, understanding like going forward, if he can't shorten up his game, and if he can't adjust his game to get out of just like I want to get in the game and score, I'm the best scorer out here, like I said, and changing mentality, knowing I can get my bucket when needed, then I think they're gonna move away from him. I don't think they want to move away from him now. I think if he doesn't change
The mind
mentality,
you talking about the
Listen.
mindset per se, which
Yeah.
I agree with.
Listen. But what I'm saying is, again, I still feel like that's more narrative than actually what's happening, because they didn't feature him as the first or the second option. They had him as the third option, and when he was the third option, he was getting the ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock. For the most part, you get the ball. Your priority is to shoot the ball if you got 10 seconds on the shot clock. If they double you or something, or trap you or something like that, yeah, you find an open man. But my thing is, if they giving him the third basketball action, they running pick and rolls, looking for the shooters on the elbow in the corner before they even look for the paint. They running all of these different offenses before they even get to Cam Thomas. They're not even featuring him the way they're supposed to feature him. So I'm saying that to say that he's a ball hole, no. It's just that he's going to take the shot if he get in the ball and the shot clock is 10 seconds or less. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so case in point is this year, he will be good with the rookies, because last year he got better as a catch and shoot player. You know, that's what Yago need, right? Yago need to break down the defense. He's a big guard. Same thing with Ben Surratt. They break down the defense. They find Cam Thomas wherever he at. And they got to respect Cam Thomas pump fake. They respect his pump fake. He can get to the basket, or he can get to the midi. So I'm saying that to say that if that's what you get from Cam Thomas, you put in Ben Surratt and Yago in situations where they high on assists. They going to be high on assists.
I
For
think
Cam Thomas, they want
Pre says something on here. Pre says something on here that I actually agree with. Shout out to Priest, but I think it was a few pods ago. I'm glad. I think Yegor helps Cam Thomas out tremendously, as well as with Nolan. Just in the simple fact of we did this thing where I feel like last year we was trying to make Cam Thomas be too much of a point guard, or throw him in point guard situations. Me personally, I don't necessarily need that from him. Like I think we've been trying that experiment. The dude is just wired to score. Like it is what it is at this
Right.
point. Getting point guards, an actual point guard in Yegor, I think was the best thing this organization could have done. Because if you have a guy with that much IQ that's going to be able to see the floor alongside with Danny Wolf, alongside with Nolan, even Saraf and Drake Powell at times, then that makes Cam Thomas' job easier. If you're gonna put him in the lineup with these dudes, he don't got to necessarily always be focused on finding the guy. That's what you got Yago for. So
Right.
all he would really be asked to do is just make the simple play,
Yeah, y'all
which
get me?
makes his job, which
Yeah.
makes his job easier. Like, just you don't got to do anything complicated. You don't got to run the X's and O's. Just find the simple guy to get it out the double team when they double you. Like, you don't got too much. Let Yegor take care of the rest. Arguably the best passer in the draft. And let Yegor execute what Horty's trying to draw up. Don't have Cam try to be too much of a point guard because he's
Right.
not. I mean, it is what it is. You don't want to force a guy to be something he's not, but just let him, hang around. Obviously, our best floor general right now, and let him soak up some of that IQ, and hopefully Yegor can even give Cam Thomas some tips sometimes on how to find a guy or get his passing game up. So it could work. It could work. I think it could work.
Right.
Honestly.
Right, and just to add on what Ellen just said, like I think Jordy starts to find what Cam's real role on this team is, which is being an ultimate two guard that can find people open. People are trying to defend him, and he's open for a lot of shots. Having Yegor, like Ellen said, is going to be so advantageous because Yegor knows how to push the tempo, know how to find players for great shots, and for Cam Thomas, it makes his job a lot easier. He's not going to get his double teamed as much if Yegor is going to be part of the playmaking of the offensive side of it. So I think that's definitely going to work. And I think for Cam Thomas, just use this season as you prove a year, work on your weaknesses, let the playmaking keep getting better, let the rebounding, defense, steals, let those things be a little more paramount this year. And if he has a complete season, I think the narrative changes a bit more in Cam Thomas. And if he's fine with a two as being the primary two on this team, I think it's going to help him grow more. But it seems like him and Jordy started to find a bit of chemistry together. And Cam Thomas hasn't had much chemistry with the past coaches on this team. So I hope Cam does take the deal. Let's be a prove a year and see what you can do with these young players on this team. I think they could all help each other in somewhat as far as just growing as players and evolving their games. But we just have to see it on paper first, see what that all looks like.
Yeah. I know Leaf wanted to say something. I see him in the chat. Go ahead, Leaf. We'll wait till Leaf come back.
Is Leaf here?
Easy, you there? Easy.
Yo,
Easy feel like I feel, bro. Like, go ahead, bro. Tell them why you mad.
I got nothing to say, bro. Y'all niggas.
Nah. Go ahead.
I got nothing to say, bro. I got nothing to say.
I mean, what?
Nah, say
You know what?
say-
I got
might as well be.
You know what, Easy? Well, you know what? Well, let me have something to say, bro. I like how this
I'll give you the rock, my nigga. You already know. I'll give you my playing time.
Don't worry.
I'll go on the bench, nigga. I'll go on the one.
No. Say it quick, bro. I'm gonna throw you a lob on this one, bro. Like, trust me. You just stand right there by the dunk box. I like how this conversation continuously gets brought up, but somehow the 2000 the Day Kids finals Nets team.
Your mic is breaking up, bro.
Yo, if you on Wi-Fi, bro, you might have to get off Wi-Fi.
Easy
It's hard to
I'm
make.
on
I know
Ethernet.
what he's trying to say.
Sound like
It's
they
hard
got
to-
scrambling on you.
He's saying. I think what he's trying to say is that I like how I keep bringing up the team where we had the number one defense and how Cam Thomas wouldn't fit on that team, and that's what I'm saying exactly. Cam Thomas is an addition in a sense where he wasn't
That's funny.
Hold on, listen. He will be an addition to the way they want to play the game. You got somebody that's an elite scorer, but you don't necessarily prioritize his elite scoring. You want him to fit in the system. But at any time that we will have a scoring drought situation where we're getting stops, but we're not scoring the ball, you can easily have a player like Cam Thomas to come in there and score the ball. Just the same way you want somebody to be an elite defender and be a 3-and-D player, come and play defense. Yo, this guy, he's scoring too many points. We need to put our best defender on him. You need that kind of player. You need different players with different roles. Cam Thomas is just playing the role. I'm just saying he one of the best at his role. And to minus him off of the team, there's all of this business side of the basketball side, but you're going to be missing on points. And he's not that much of a drop-off on defense where we were losing games because of his defense. But we stayed.
What if they don't care about that, though?
Because
like missing out on the points argument. I'm saying, what if they really don't care? Like they just want to get these rookies out and
but what I'm saying is
get out
they
and let them play.
So what I'm saying is,
Because me personally, I don't think they're looking for somebody that's trying to lead the freaking league in scoring. Like I think realistically, they're just looking for guys who can. If one of them happen to develop to be a scorer, then so be it. But I think that's why it's taking so long. Like they really don't care about the scoring aspect, I think, of the team, which I think is stupid. But I mean,
true.
They might not care about that. They might just care about just playing efficient basketball.
But no,
you're right, LM. That's a good point.
But what I'm saying is, do you think that the Brooklyn Nets should focus on the defensive side of the ball first, opposed to offense?
Nah, they focusing on both. They focus the guys.
What I'm saying is, hold on. But I'm gonna go look at OKC. It's the OKC. Are they the champions because of their defensive offense? You're gonna say both, but at the end of the day, they were number one in defense. I don't know what they were in offense, but they were number one in defense. And I'll say this. Hold on, and I'll land the plane. Hold on. Somebody got echo. I'll land the plane saying this. They added God damn it. Yo,
somebody go on mute if y'all
what I was saying is that they added Caruso for their defense, for his defense. If he has offense, if he knocking down his three ball, long shot, then yeah, that's a bonus. But for the most part, they got him to play defense, and the winning that was contributed on his side was the defensive side of the ball. So what I'm saying is, if that's going to be that Brooklyn Nets identity, that's a good thing. I just don't think Cam Thomas.
Caruso is a well-rounded basketball player. Bro.
Hold on, real quick. Can I go? I don't got much.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what we was waiting for you to go. That's what we really waiting for.
Nah, my nigga. I know if I go too long, my
cook
nigga,
easy, cook easy.
Yo, let's go.
Cook, bro. Go ahead.
Go easy.
Go ahead. Nobody gonna cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
Bro, so all I gotta ask, my nigga, I ain't got too much to go on, my nigga. All I got to ask, who's a better 3-point shooter, Josh Giddey or Alex Caruso?
Caruso.
He said,
I don't know.
Wait. You see, I only said 2 words, my nigga. 2 words. Can I keep on going?
Yes.
Come on, man. Put your chef hat on, man. Turn the stove on, man. Cook.
So the year before, when OKC got bounced out the fucking playoffs by Dallas, what was the problem that they were facing? Since we know
I think
ball,
it was
right?
size, right? Wasn't it
right?
like size and
It wasn't size, it was shooting.
It was shooting. Josh Giddey became unplayable on the court, and they kept on leaving him on offense, my nigga. So when you try to make claims like, "Oh, teams don't," bro, can we put context and really lock the fuck in and just say, instead of just saying shit that just comes, the first thought that comes to our mind, my nigga? Like, are you dead fucking ass, my nigga? Can we lock the fuck in, please? That's all I'm asking.
You know what I think it is, Easy? I think that Caruso was so good on defense that people forget how good of an offensive player he is. Like,
but that's their fault, not our fault. That's their fault.
No, I mean he's a well-rounded basketball player for sure. Like Caruso, nice. I love the game.
Everybody can do what Caruso does. You're a tough team to stop. If everybody can do what Caruso can do, which is a lot.
I don't think it was mainly because of the defense, though. Like overall, OKC is a pretty good offensive team as well.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, when you got these guys have also been together for a pretty long time. So you add Caruso to that mix, who is already a good defender and a guy who can stretch the floor. I mean, Giddey is the better playmaker, of course.
Right.
But when you talk about what he fits that team in general in the lineup. So of course you make that move every day of the week. Mind you, Giddey was their 6th pick. Giddey was their first pick in the tank. He was their guy, the 6th pick. That was their first pick in the tank.
So
and they traded him.
I think LM said it real quick. Let me just say this real quick. I think LM said it. Didn't you guys say that Giddey and Shaw kind of X'd each other out because they kind of do the same thing? So as far as with with
Giddey's more of a passer.
They need the ball in their hand.
Hold on, Joey. Let me say this. They kept a better shot creator instead of facilitator in that situation. because Giddey is a better facilitator than Shea, but Shea is a better shot creator than Josh Giddey.
But come on, bro, you're not gonna pick
But
Giddey
Giddey
over
is not
Shea.
a.
So,
But Giddey wasn't a better
my
defender
point
than
is, I
Shea
just want to
either.
land my plane. But my point is, LM is right. The fit was better with Caruso next to Shai than the
Right.
fit was with Giddey. That doesn't mean
Can I
Giddey's
say
not
this?
nice.
Can I
Yeah.
say this real quick?
Yeah, go
Can I
on.
say this real quick? Real quick. They in that trade, they decided to give up something to acquire something. They gave up the size and playmaking for better defense and more for offensive threat on the offensive side of the floor. They made a compromise. It wasn't a all type of compromise. They made a compromise. If they want to plug a hole in their offense where people were leaving Josh Giddey and double teaming Shea and making the offense more struggle, they gave that up, even though Josh Giddey was a good playmaker for that team, for the second unit and for the primary unit at the same time. They gave that up because Alex Caruso at the same time can still handle the rock, better shooter, cannot always leave him, as good or better defense, and they are willing to compromise
Okay,
on the playmaking
but
side.
I just want to bring
Especially
up
with the
one little point
development
real
of Jay.
quick. Is it safe to say though that Alex Caruso, because Breezy is kind of right too. Y'all both kind of right. Is it safe to say that Alex Caruso also gives Shea he takes a lot of pressure off Shea because he can defend the best guard on the floor. That way Shea don't
Exactly.
have to do that.
Right,
Exactly.
but also Caruso
Shea
does a
was
lot of
never
different
doing
things.
that. Shea was never doing that. Shea was never doing that. Shea was never doing that.
So Shea was never.
Bro, he averaged like 2 steals a game, bro. He was crazy on defense.
What the fuck does that mean when you have to guard the best fucking player? He was
No, I'm
not
not
doing
talking about the
that.
best player. I'm talking about the best guard, the best backcourt. Like, say if it's a dominant player in the backcourt, then Caruso, that would be Caruso's assignment. You feel me? Who's ever the most like offensively capable?
Bro,
That's
but
all I'm
Joe,
saying. I'm not
Like,
saying he's gonna guard the best
putting
player.
They was putting Giddy and Case and Wallace on them niggas, bro. Come on, bro. We know that, bro.
They were, but at the same time, like if you look at that lineup, I mean, easy. You said he got smaller, but I mean, I know Josh Giddey's like dang near 6'8", but was Shea 6'6", Caruso 6'5"? I mean, that's pretty much a tall backcourt, realistically,
But
And not
especially
only that, just because you bigger than me, don't mean you play bigger than me.
No, that's true. But remember what happened in the beginning of the season when Chet got hurt. They had no other big man, and remember Hartenstein got hurt. They were putting J-Dub at the 5, and they were getting fucked up on the rebounding end. So we could say
that's true. That's true.
But we saw it for ourselves. It's not even like I'm saying some bullshit. We saw it for ourselves in the beginning of the season when Chet and Isaiah got hurt. They was getting fucked up on the offensive rebounding and on the defensive rebounding and on just the size end. But luckily, your boy J-Dub, the unsung hero, leveled up this fucking year. Let's put some respect on the boy name. All NBA defensive and all NBA, nigga.
I ain't gonna hold you. Them niggas did step up.
Hold on. Let's not pretend that his stepping up was that 40-point play. When he had that 40 points, that's part of the stepping up too. Like I believe in defense before offense. But let's not ignore.
Right, but Breezy, at the same time, he grew, like he was, don't get me wrong, he has scoring capabilities, but he grew into that. Like what he is today, you kind of saw that at when he played at Santa Clara. Like you kind of saw that in him, but he wasn't necessarily like a Cam Thomas type scorer, but you knew he can be that. As for our rookies right now, I don't know if Diego or Drake Powell or whoever can turn into a Jalen Williams. I'm not saying that, but it's still early. Maybe by when they reach 21, they might be better offensively. We don't know. They could be way better offensively than what they are now. So we just looking at them because they won the championship, but these guys have been together for 3-4 years. Like they've honed their games together. They're playing one-on-one with each other in the gym.
Yo,
exactly.
Go ahead.
I want to say you don't focus on defense first. You focus on the game of basketball. Whatever shows up first, it just shows up first, and you build your team from there because you'll know which side shows up If defense shows up and you don't expect it, you like, huh? All right, so we got these guys to defend. Now where our offense at? You know what I'm saying? Like then you start building and figure out what works and what don't. If the offense shows up first and you see pieces of players not, you know what I'm saying, not picking up slack defensively, then you fill those holes. So that's basically what OKC did. You know what I'm saying? They see, okay, Josh not hitting his threes, and he, you know what I mean? Like, this not working out for us. He can pass the ball, but what else could we fill in with? Oh, let's go get Caruso. And now Caruso, it balances out what we was missing. And that's how you build a team. It's not necessarily focusing. If you remember, Jock, we had all those defenders when Jock Vaughn was here. Not saying Jock Vaughn's a good coach, but he focused on defense. And then you seen our offense start rocking. You know what I'm saying? Offense look way better than the defense.
I don't just say I agree to everything you said up until Jock Vaughn.
No, I got to make an example.
Let us finish.
You see the bullshit?
Yeah,
Listen.
Word, my nigga. Niggas can't hold it down, my nigga. Then intrusive thoughts start leaking out, my nigga. You hear the bullshit? All right.
Listen.
All right.
I was saying now when Jock Vaughn was coaching, not saying he's a good coach. I'm gonna repeat that again. Not saying he's a good coach, but you heard him talk about defense first, and then the offense started looking way better than the defense, and then we ended up with no defense. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really say focus on a certain thing. You got to let the players play and see what shows up, basically. You know what I mean? The game, whatever pops out first, it'll pop out.
I think crazy a nigga that plays for San Antonio.
But I still disagree with that. I disagree. I still feel like the identity should be a focal point. Like you should focus. Like, yo, what are we doing? I don't know. We just gonna go out there and wing it. Nah, you need to say
exactly.
Right, defense is a priority. This is the way we play the game. This is the way we play basketball.
All right.
So
real quick.
Good teams have both, though.
I don't even think Caruso was the biggest tweak. I think Hartenstein was the biggest tweak OKC did, because they definitely filled that hole, because the players before that, Chet was getting ate up in the paint, and they knew they needed size in the interior, and they went out and got Hartenstein. I mean, granted, Caruso was a very, very big hole to fill too, but I think them getting Hartenstein it was an underrated move, bro.
You see, Joey, I don't want to make it an either or thing. Like, oh, this nigga got more weight than the other nigga to what he brought to the team. No, bro, they all impact the team to a winning situation.
I agree.
Wait, hold on, Joey. I'm about to send a shot. I'm about to send a big ass shot. I don't want to do what this nigga Breezy do and try to put majority percentage of a fucking credit on certain players. No, bro. Everybody has a role and impact to play on the court, my nigga. I ain't gonna
right. That's true. That's true.
But hold
on, let him finish his point.
Hold on, real quick, Joey. We saw in the playoffs, my nigga. They put this nigga fucking
Caruso
role player off the bench. Nah, not Caruso. They put the other J-Dub, Jalen Williams, on Jokic, and the other nigga, Kenrich Williams on motherfucking Jokic, and that shit did wonders. So what? Kenrich Williams don't deserve no credit because he's just a bench player that only get limited minutes. He don't get no fucking credit for that shit right there. The other J-Dub that fucking was fucking up Jokic when he was trying to back that nigga down, he don't get no fucking credit.
Isaiah Joe came through too. Isaiah Joe came through too.
Easy. We also have to acknowledge that the playoffs before, Jokic ate him up. So yeah, they get credit for what they did this year, and I agree. Everybody on the team is going to contribute, and we shouldn't say this player was more effective than this player. But what I'm saying is the biggest two tweaks. I'm gonna just say this: the biggest two tweaks was Caruso and them getting Hartenstein. I'm not saying everybody else didn't contribute collectively, but they tweaked those two holes. And that, I think that's what took them over the top. On top of them just gaining more experience.
Yeah, because Jalen Williams at the foursome lineups was nasty work. I understood he could play it, but that shit was nasty to see.
I think the two keys here are chemistry for the guys that were drafted and versatility. That OKC team is one of the most versatile, youngest ever championship teams in NBA history. So, like, for them to put it all together like that, like, I think Easy's trying to say, it takes a fair balance. Everybody has to serve a role to ultimately win a championship. And for the Brooklyn Nets, we still have to figure out who is that core. Like, we have an idea of what it could be based on who we drafted, who could help us veteran-wise, but it's all kind of up for grabs right now. Like, the great thing about OKC was they drafted right, they got the right veterans. Caruso and Hartenstein both tremendously helped this team get better as far as having a championship mindset and a veteran mindset. So I think the pieces of the puzzle just work together seamlessly
Right.
for OKC.
But the
and
most
that's what put them
most
over.
important piece is having the guy. And I think OKC lucked up with Shy. It just worked out for them.
And they wanted to trade him too. Don't forget, Joey. They wanted to trade Shy at one point, and he said, "Well, I'm just going to become an MVP."
Yeah. I mean,
another point to taking that too, Joey,
they want to
is
pay him, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
another point to taking that too is freaking. It's 2025. Shea got there in 2019. Nigga just won his first trip at 27.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, don't be in a rush for these rookies or whatever to lead niggas to the promised land at 22.
Year two
it may take a bit of time. Let's just have patience with these guys. Let's see what they can grow into. Stop trying to trade niggas immediately. We don't know. For all we know, if Cam Thomas come back, Cam Thomas may win a chip with us when the nigga turns 26. We don't freaking know. I'm
Ellen
just
is
saying.
right.
Like,
See you guys in 7 years.
I'm just saying.
Let me give Ellen the big screen, dog. I gotta get Ellen the big screen, dog. Go ahead, Ellen. What was you saying about Cam Thomas and championship?
Oh boy! Oh my God!
I'm just hold on. Listen, I'm just saying realistically, not just about Cam Thomas, but in general. Like, let's give these guys some time. Listen, Jordan ain't start winning chips to his 30s. Like, we not gonna sit here and be like, these rookies not doing nothing at 22. Yo, let's ship them out. They trash.
But let's call it what
not
it
gonna start
is.
doing.
It's who we got. We got Claxton, Cam Thomas, and Day'Ron Sharpe, the longest tenure Nets on this team, right?
Yeah. If they are part of one day, whether Claxton is 29, whether Cam is 25, 26, whatever, whether Day'Ron is 25 or 26, whatever the case may be, if they can provide some sort of a overall game to this team, then yeah, I say keep them, let them grow, and if it turns into one day a championship roster with either one of those three on the team, let it rock. He's been there since 27. Regardless, yes, we all knew Shea could turn into something, but they still gave him the time to turn into that. Even when Chris Paul was there, next year, shit them out. Them niggas was 44 and 28 when Chris Paul got there. They must have felt comfortable with Shea because they shut them out right after. Yo, you good? You got the tutelage from CP3. We pushing with you all the way. It may be 2 years. We may be losing and tanking. But we trust that you are going to be the guy to lead us to the promised land, along with the guys that we are going to get and add in this draft to put around you. Giddey just wasn't part of the program, but Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren were. And what did they do to get him? They tanked, realistically. So the fact of the matter is, wait till these guys, let these guys build some chemistry. Let them get them some years together. Let them learn each other. And you can have a roster potentially like OKC or like Indiana, who knows? But let these guys stay on the team. Let them build chemistry. Let them build actual relationships. And don't try to just trade off everything like this organization freaking does every damn year.
Right. And I just wanted to add to the point of Hartenstein, whoever said that. When Caruso, they went from a fourth team ranked defense to a first team ranked, added Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso. So yeah, I think they were intentional on the defensive side of the ball. I think they did want to, didn't want
absolutely
your best player getting in foul trouble. You don't want to keep putting shade on the best offensive player on the opposing team.
Listen,
you want to make sure he don't get in foul troubles we could run the score.
You want to go up against Jokic with Hartenstein on your team, right? Rather than not having Hartenstein and having Chet guarding Jokic. Let's just play his centers like Jokic. Let's just say that. No disrespect to Chet, but Chet he's a featherweight. Like he plays like a guard. He's a big man, but he plays smaller than what he is. We already know the interior is not. That's really not his strong suit, especially on the defensive end.
It really isn't at
Yeah,
this
so
point.
so that's what I'm saying. Caruso, he's a big guard. Shea, a big guard. The similarities. And yeah, going Ben Surratt. That's all I'm saying. I'm not
That's a
necessarily.
wrap. We don't even know
I'm not
what Ben Trask could
right.
do,
No.
Bruce.
But what I'm saying, he's a big guard. And yeah, listen, the knock on Cam Thomas is he can't guard because he's a small guard. And I'm saying Ben Surratt and Diego is big guards. And when we were good in the Eastern Conference, number one defense, we had good defensive perimeter defense.
Yeah,
Achilles
they
was
big guards, Breeze,
Jay
but they
Powell is a
also
big
slow
guard
footed
too,
though.
though.
They also slow footed. So
thank you. Jay Powell's Jay Powell's
But I
good
think
man, good
I would
man.
rather have Powell at the two than Saraf, respectfully.
Yeah,
Like
I
that,
agree with that.
he is somebody that he ain't slow footed. He's probably one of the fastest and athletic players on the team
exactly.
at that guard position. He got a 7-foot wingspan. If anybody could possibly be a Herb Jones or Caruso for us at the two, was damn near Drake Powell.
I agree with that. I
You saw they
100%
got
agree
him
with that.
first.
I think
You
Drake
saw they
Powell is
got
that
him
type of
before.
prototype.
Right.
Absolutely, that type
Right.
of archetype.
And he could score. The thing with Ben Surratt is he just does an ugly mid-range shot, man. Like, he really has to work on his whole offensive game. Like, I got to see him do something besides a few fancy footwork plays in the interior. Like, you got to really change your whole offensive game up. But I also agree that Drake Powell, like, defensively brings you a lot, but he could also be a prototype. I think what Caruso brought to OKC was he can do a little bit of everything. Like, if this team,
Exactly.
that team can become versatile, but that's the Brooklyn Nets problem last 9 years. When have we ever been a versatile team besides the Big Three ever? We've never been a versatile team where we have guys who can do all types of different things.
Exactly.
Like,
Yo,
that's
listen,
what
listen.
it takes to have a
We've
winning
always
culture.
got guys who were specialists in
Right.
athletic.
Hold
Yeah, that's
on.
the Sean Marks type, the specialists, instead of the
Hold on,
versatile guys.
Hold on, I want to let y'all know in the last 4 seasons with the OKC Thunder, they defensive ranking. They were 4 seasons ago, 12th, right? The next season, 6, 12 to 6. That's a big jump. The next season after that, 4th, and then 1st. So again, emphasis on me and Ice conversation. Yes, they prioritize in the defense. Defense won championship. They believe that. You know, they had Kevin Durant and Westbrook and Harden in the finals, and they lost. So maybe that's part of the reason why they, you feel what I mean, prioritize defense over offense. You feel what I mean? Because, protecting the basket shouldn't be underappreciated. Like, yeah, maybe scoring the ball is the name of the game, but defending that rim, defending the perimeter, stopping your opponent from scoring, that's something to say too. Holding teams to under 100 points and now NBA modern basketball, bro. That's a great defense, bro. They was holding teams to what was it? 100 and let me get y'all the stat. Holding teams to 104 points a game, bro.
What team you talking about? Is that OKC?
Yeah, OKC.
Okay.
Holding teams to 107 points a game. That's first in the NBA.
But can we? I mean, I get the talk about offense and defense, but when you look at teams like OKC, they are a very well evenly killed team. Like, just as much as they can stop you on defense, they can fucking run the scoreboard up on you. Like, they got multiple guys who could kill you offensively, man. And then they got the guy who has a generational whistle. So, I mean,
that is true. But Joey's correct. They have, I mean, besides the whistle thing, Shea can get to his mid-range spot. He's arguably the best scorer on the team. You got Caruso who is a 3-and-D threat. You got Jalen Williams, who has improved his scoring game tremendously in the half court. Then you got Chet, who plays like a guard, can get into the mid-range area, can get to the post, can give you something on the defensive end. And then you got the big guy Hartenstein, who also is elite in the paint, give you a little hook shot, give you a little mid-range here and there. His offensive game is there sometimes when you need it.
Right,
so
but then they got 3-and-D guys like Cason Wallace.
Isaiah Joe, Kyrie Williams, the other Jalen Williams.
What's the other little crazy dude, the Haitian dude? Oh, Lou Dort.
Lou Dort.
Well,
Then they
Yeah.
got Topic coming back this season. They picked.
Yeah, they said
And
that
they
Toby
got
coming back.
Thomas Sorba.
Right.
Yeah,
But,
man,
So,
that
we
was
talking,
like,
we
good.
talking about
break it
I
down
don't.
for the chat. Then let
we-
them know what kind of player they play. You talking about Topic? He's a facilitator, right? He's a big guy.
6'6" guard, yep, facilitator, has a bit of a scoring game to him, but he's also a guy that can go in and run your offense.
yeah.
And this is a guy they got. Also got Thomas Sorba this year, who a lot of us wanted on this team. Sorba
Yeah.
coming off the bench is gonna work wonders for them.
Oh yeah, they
Like
just got him in the
these niggas
draft,
just
right?
get. It's like the luckier they
Yeah.
get, they
Yeah,
just
Joe.
get lucky every damn year. Like
Yeah.
those are all good pieces that you can add to your bench now. Honestly, I don't. They might be a threat for a couple of years now that they locked everybody up. Like they just added so much to their roster, and this is all thanks to Sam Presti not trading off every damn player that they draft or get, letting these
Yeah.
guys build, letting these
Yeah.
guys
You
build
can't.
chemistry.
You
It's
can't
This
gonna
is
just
what
catch
you
up.
trade.
It's gonna
do.
catch up to him sooner or later though, because he can't pay everybody in that small
Right.
market. So.
Well, that was
That's a
the
fact
thing with
too.
Giddy.
That's
That was
true.
the thing with Giddy. He knew that he had to let Giddy go because, and he let. But the amazing thing was he got Caruso out of the deal, which was a great trade. That was a great move. You got a
It's funny
defensive
because
play.
Giddy was the first pick they got out of the tank too.
Yeah, but that was a
That's the
great.
funny part.
But that was a great move though because Caruso brings that defense, which they needed, and that shooting on the outside, which Giddy wasn't doing. And he moves the ball. He's smart. He's a real
Right.
smart player.
You can play make
So
too.
right, he playmates. So
Yo, hold
it
on, hold
fit
on,
it.
hold on. I want to stay with Scott. We're gonna all answer this question before we leave. I know I'll be clipping up the videos, and I want them to clip this part up. Scott, what is Brooklyn Nets winning culture from through your lens?
Winning culture, defense. I think defense is the culture that they have to have, and team ball. Team ball. I don't think you can't. You got to have a team. You can't have a individual like one player that's going to be your
When you say
superstar.
team ball, you talking about assists, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How many assists you think we should have this season? Like average per game.
If we be in the middle of the league, we be good though. That'd be a good sign because then they
Okay.
can improve on that. I don't expect them to, these rookies to actually make a big contribution this year, but they can learn. And if you see the little traits that they have, they can build on it. They have to do like, okay, Cedar, you're gonna stay. You got it. Take a couple of years. You got to let these guys grow. But next year we only have one draft pick, so that's kind of tough. Like you said, OKC constantly has draft picks. They just constantly trade to get draft picks. And like you said, they're going to have an issue with paying some of these players. So they're going to be moving pieces again, of course. But their GM does a terrific job in moving pieces to get something back. He don't move a piece just to be moving it.
They
Okay.
have.
So you saying the Brooklyn Nets winning culture is defense first, moving the ball second. All right, copy that. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna go to Ice. What you got on this, Ice?
No, I was saying like OKC got a strategy and a formula. It's not they getting lucky. Somebody or they team, because I don't just think it's Presti. Whoever he got working with him, bro, they know what they doing to the point that we almost. I ain't gonna say they can't fail, but they almost can't miss. You know what I mean? That's how they shooting right now. You know what I mean? They going, all right, we strategizing to get Thomas Sorber. We go get, you know what I'm saying? The point guard. And you watch him playing summer league, and he out there, offense, running team, dropping dimes. The summer league team playing like the regular NBA team. You know what I'm saying? Team defense, steals, logging up. Like they got a formula, they got a strategy, and they making sure it's, you know what I'm saying, their plan is laid out everywhere for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And whoever fit this team strategy and formula, you know what I'm saying? We can work with you. If you don't, like Scott said, we'll figure out what to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah,
That's
either way, they don't lose.
right.
They don't lose.
Okay. Joey, talk to us, man. What's winning culture for the Brooklyn Nets, bro?
I mean, Scott hit it on the head. We ain't got no other choice, man. Team ball and defense. It's not like we got the guy. So you
Yeah.
have to, or some of the, one or two, the guy or two guys that are the guys. I mean, we're starting from the rock bottom. So if you want to try to establish that culture, you have to establish playing as a team, and you got to establish being tough on defense. So that's where you start from. As far as the OKC thing, let's not act like OKC just got here. Okay, listen,
Oh, yeah.
they
They've been.
they once they let go of Paul George and all those guys, they got shot. They was trash for a while. But I
Yep.
will say that Presti understands his market, and he understands what he needs to do in that market to be competitive. He understands that he has to get multiple draft picks and have those assets. He understands that he has to draft good because
Yep.
stars are not going to OKC. So he has to do it a different way. So I
Right.
will give them props on that. And he executes it very, very well.
So hold on, just kind of staying with it, and then just keeping this question to move around the panel. Joey? How do you feel about how the window that he had to win it with Shea? Like, how do you feel about him winning in the time that he did? Like the Thunder, and they rebuilt. Like, how much as a fan could you appreciate how much time it took, or do you feel like it took too long, or was it fast?
No, absolutely. Listen, I'm a fan that understand. Like, listen, man, a rebuild doesn't happen in 2 or 3 years. Like, even you said it. Even with Boston, it took the boy Tatum like his 7th season, him and Brown, to win the championship. I believe it was like the 7th season with Shah, right, for the
Yeah.
OKC.
Something like that.
So this is not
How old is he?
Shah. I don't know.
26, I think. 28.
26.
I gotta check.
He's up there.
So this is not something that happens overnight. You got to constantly tweak, and you got to constantly go back to the drawing board every year to make sure that you know what I mean, you improve your team and give them the best shot at winning. And I think that's what OKC has done. They have consistently tweaked that team, and they consistently filled those holes, and they just grew together, and it was their time, man.
Nah, facts. Yeah. Shout out to Joey. We're gonna keep it going around the panel. Everything Brooklyn Nets. John, talk to us. What's Brooklyn Nets winning culture, bro?
Three important things: grit, team style basketball, and defense. I think Elam said perfectly. These young guys, this is going to be a tough year that could break them at certain points, but also mold them into future solid potential players. They will have to have the mentality that, yes, some of these guys are more experienced than me. They can act like they run through me, but I got to make them work for it. Like, if the Nets, this young core this year can make the teams they face work for the wins, because a lot of teams are probably going to have an edge over them, but if they can make certain teams work for wins against them, that's something you take out. It means these guys are committed to not being walked over, but they want to be eventually the stepping stones to success. So I think for these young guys this year, you got to have grit. You got to have the mentality that this is going to be a tough-ass year. But if we could all play together, have the same mindset, the same goals, it makes the process a lot more enjoyable. I think for the Brooklyn Nets, their problem last 9 years is you haven't kept any players for 4 to 5 years to build any type of sustainability or chemistry. My long-term hope is that at least 3 out of 5 of these guys will be here the next 5 or 6 years when we're eventually at that stage of competing, contending for something more important, which is winning that first ever championship. So for these guys this year, you have to have the mentality on defense. You have to have the grit, working hard for everything you can get on this team. And ultimately, you got to play as a team, function as a team. And that starts with daily habits in the gym, off the court, on the court, and just having accountability. If these guys can have accountability for their high falls, their pitfalls and all that, they're going to gel more as a team. It may not look great from a winning standpoint this year, but as years progress, if these guys have the same mindset and buy-in to Brooklyn Nets basketball and what the culture of winning is, you're going to see those ebbs and flows of winning and success. I just think for the organization, so like what Joey said, you have to draft the right way, get the right vets that have a winning mindset, but most importantly, a professionalism, and eventually the pieces of the puzzle fit together. So for the Brooklyn Nets organization, they got to start hitting those right moves. You can't just keep reshuffling the deck every freaking year, hoping for a different outcome. That's with stars or drafting. You have to actually commit to certain players to be that lead brand of your culture and your core. Once they figure that out, you will see those little things start leading to success. And I think you have the right coach in Jordy. It's just you got to let these young guys develop and create their pathway to success. You can't just pressure them to be winning diamonds in 1 or 2 years. That's just going to ruin their progress. So if this organization can start making the right moves, let the coach and the coaching team work with these young guys, and that's through conditioning, through development, working on the weaknesses. You're going to see this team start shining at the brightest moments. May not start well these first 2 years, but after that, hopefully we can really see those things come to fruition. So at the end of the day, we all Brooklyn Nets culture no matter what. So I look forward to the journey these young men are about to be on, and I just wish them the best on their path to success. May not be great at the start, but the end goal, that's where it's going to be fulfilling.
Shout out to everything Brooklyn Nets, Sean. Easy, you got anything on this?
Yo, oh shit, I'm sorry. Oh shit, my fault. Yo, real quick. Shout out to the fucking chat. They fucking cooking, nigga. I've been in the chat the whole fucking time, nigga. I ain't gonna hold you,
You in the chat.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I've been in the chat the whole time. The whole chat fucking cooking, nigga.
I know. So,
Quick question?
just let me ask you this quick question. How long do you think a rebuild take before we should be competitive for real?
Bro, I'm not answering that question. I'm not doing this bullshit. We did this before. We asked this question. I'm not doing this bullshit. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that bullshit. Especially with this nigga right here. Especially with this little fucking nigga right here. This nigga, you say something, he gonna hold you to that fucking account for like 2 years.
Nah,
later.
that's
Nah,
Brooklyn LM. That's Brooklyn LM started that.
Whoa!
I'm not, nigga.
Nah,
That's
I wouldn't do
Whoa!
that.
Where did that come from? Yo, LM, you just got
Bro,
guarded
this
already, bro.
ease. This is just an
Now he throw you under
educated
the
guess,
bus,
dog. That's all. Just an
Whoa.
educated guess.
No, Joey. No. Maybe for you, but for me, I'm gonna get it thrown right back in my face the next week. Pause. Yo, you said this about it. Yo, what happened right here? Nah, I'm not doing this bullshit.
Nah. I'm saying that because not just the Celtics, but Jokic and that roster. It took them about 6-7 years, and before a team wins a champion, the core together about 4, 5, 6, 7. About I would say not 4, about 5, 6, 7 years. Maybe the earliest I can remember somebody winning it was like Dwayne Wade.
No, I'm gonna answer it for easy. Would you say the young? How long does a rebuild take?
Yeah.
That was your question.
Yeah.
The rebuild, right? The rebuild is getting your young players, not building the team. But rebuild, like I said, we already one of the youngest teams in the league. You can't get no younger than you already are. You know what I mean? And I basically said the rebuild is basically done. You only got 1 first-round pick next year and 2, 3 in the second round. So basically, you might get rid of all your second rounds because you already got 5 this year. That'll be 6. So basically, rebuild over. All you're trying to do from next year is build the team and the culture from next year. So rebuild is done. You know what I'm saying? Rebuild is finished. You're just trying to build a team and get where you're trying to go from there. You know what I mean?
Right, but yeah, I was what I was trying to ask is like, do you see the correlation between all of the teams taking about 6-7 years before they actually won it together? Happened with the Thunder, happened with the Celtics, happened with the Nuggets. You know what I'm saying? That happened with Milwaukee. You know what I mean? All of the teams that won it as a reset is because of some of the chemistry, because of having a core and building on a core, not just taking out your core pieces. And you know what I mean? Like, you got to keep your core pieces. That's basically what I was trying to say.
Can I say this, Breeze? I think it's a disconnect because I think you asking how long will it take for a team to rebuild and win it, and I think I don't think Eskimo that's not how he thinking at it. You know, am I
right?
Eskimo?
Yeah, I was contrasting them. Thank you for that. I was contrasting them to the Thunder, saying like they took about, and not just the Thunder, a lot of these modern teams, as a recent, they won it in about 6-7 years from their rebuild. After they started rebuilding with their core players, they kept their core players. They lost with their core players, but kept their core players, and they won with them after like 6-7 seasons. I think that's a recipe to how to win it.
I think it depends as well on whatever player you get or whatever player Just elevate. I think it depends on. I think with Dallas, once they saw Luca turn into what he was, it kind of was all right. We got our guy. Well, thought we had our guy. Um, but let's just start building a team around him now, and opposed to Shea. When they saw him into, obviously after the tanking years, but that year when they went like 40 and 42, they reached the play in that year. They was like, all right, well, Shea's coming back next year, but we clearly see that we have something here. Let's try to go out and try to compete. And they were the number one seed that year. And then you go from that to, all right, well, we're not in rebuild no more. We're clearly in contending mode. So let's go out and get some guys that can help us do that, aka Caruso, aka Hartenstein. Like, let's add some vets to this team that can now contribute to what we already got going on. And that's when you start making the moves. Same thing with Houston, getting Kevin Durant and DFS and Clint Capella back and all of these other guys. All right, we was the second seed last year. Let's build on that. Let's get these guys and let's try to see if we can win a championship. Like, now Houston is no longer in rebuild mode. Now they are at possibly contention mode. Like, it just depends on what year I feel like you take that leap, and then the year that your team takes that leap, then it turns into, all right, rebuild is no longer over. We don't need to go through the draft anymore. We got our guys. Let's go start putting pieces around these guys in order to not really necessarily win a chip, yeah, but also just contend and be above 500, which I think for Brooklyn, we should be more worried about being above 500 than a championship. Like, I think we are way far from that goal. But
what
I think a win for us would be a play-in next year, 2027 season.
Yeah.
Like, that should be the year we should stop tanking. Like, we don't got a pick in 2027. This will be our last pick to be used in this 2026 draft. Next year, Houston got our pick. You don't want Houston get a number one pick again. So
Right. That's a
you
good
should
point.
start winning games. Like, that should be the goal. After you use this 2026 pick, all right, bet. Let's start seeing if you want to go after a star, go right ahead. Add it to these guys. Let's see if you can at least make a plan or whatever the case may be. And the year after that, if we do that good that year, cool. You can find a way to make the playoffs or do whatever. But
see what OKC did. What OKC did that I like is when they made picks, their picks wasn't to drop money. Well, it did drop money, but it also improved the team. It improved the team. It wasn't just to make another draft pick. That was already in play. That was already done. When they got Caruso, that they knew they were going to play Caruso, and he was going to be a vital piece to what they needed to do.
I think Presti just got a good eye for talent. Like, history has shown that he knows how to draft, and I think once they went to the playoffs that year, once they like finally took off and they went to the playoffs, I think that's when teams finally say, or GMs or owners or front offices say, like, yo, I think they ready now. I think they turned the corner. So then after that, they just start tweaking. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see how we do in the playoffs. Let's see how we do in the playoffs. Let's analyze and see how these dudes do, see what we need, see what we don't. So then next year we can improve on that and then tweak and then go out and compete again. So
and again, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. That consistently every year they improved in defense. Every year. But hold on, I gotta clip it up. So let me give my shout out. Shout out to Ice, Joey, Notorious, Brooklyn LM, Easy E, Leaf, everything, Brooklyn Nets, John, Scott. I'm gonna get with you, Scott.
All right.
The chat. You know what I'm saying? All of the Nets fans, we the best fans. We're gonna be back with more content.
LM, I just wanted to say, LM, I sent you something.
All right, bet. I'll check it out.
It's on X. Joey, you on X?
We We on hold on. Y'all can talk backstage right after this.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on X. My X is in my name, bro.
So basically we ain't get to the schedule yet. The first game is the 4th. We're going to get to the schedule before the games are actually played. So
easy.
man, I want to say thank you to all y'all. Dwavi 17, Paul Smith, Brown, all y'all, Player One, all y'all. Nets fans is the best fans. We be back with more content soon, y'all. Peace.